Mosquera above the floodline. Floodable ecosystems for the recovery of the wetlands. In recent years, the traditionally agricultural land of the Savannah of Bogota has been under a lot of urban pressure. Generating a plan for the future development of the savanna in Mosquera required a detailed analysis of its current conditions. With water being the most prominent feature of the site, we analyzed the complex irrigation system of the savanna. The water that flows through the canals of the savanna comes from the Walik wetlands in the north and the upper basin of the Bogota River, feeding five main canals that run north to south, with collecting canals crossing east to west. The presence of these canals defines the rural grid that characterizes the site, which configures itself as a man-made wetland. Another important feature is the presence of the rivers. The Bogota River, running through the east and the south border of the site, receives the water of the system in its union with the Valsilla River, which defines the west border. This complex hydrological system has a severe impact on the nature of the site, with large floodplains towards the south and the borders of the savanna. The canals also have a severe impact on the mobility of the site. Below Calle 13, which splits the municipality in two, the rural roads alongside the watercourses penetrate into the site, with many dead ends and private bypasses that create a fragmented network. The situation is very different in the northern region, with a regular grid of streets and avenues more related to its colonial heritage. Downtown Mosquera presents a more conventional mobility system with very little relation with the one of the savannah, enhancing fragmentation. This fragmentation showcases in the urban fabric. With a heavy presence of industries and informal settlements developed in patches, the savanna lacks a cohesive strategy for development. Islands of private developments also take place in the site, creating more holes into the agriculture fabric of the savanna. Another important feature is the presence of institutionally protected land in the center of the site. The institutions, historic milestones, and private developments that could potentially offer service to the community constituted a constellation of opportunities for the project. Besides the floodplains in the southern region, the main characteristic of the municipality is its irrigation system. The irrigation system configures the savanna, where water conditions the mobility and the morphology of the place. Additionally, the presence of the Calle 13 Avenue and the fragmented and rural nature of the corridors in the savanna has caused Mosquero to be heavily divided into north and south. Consequently, the lack of connectivity and strategies has favored disorganized developments that has put in great danger the ecosystems of the savanna. With all of this in mind, we generated a global plan consisting of three main objectives. First, to protect and recover the ecosystem of the savanna, redefining the relationships of its inhabitants with the water and keeping the agricultural nature of the site. Second, to connect the southern and northern regions of the municipality while at the same time providing a network of corridors and connections within the savanna and the rest of the city. And finally, to inhabit the savanna in a more horizontal relationship with its ecosystems, using water and nature as a catalyzer to dilute segregation and promote new ways of living. In order to settle these intentions, we projected ideas in conceptual collage to guide the development of the plan. The integration of water into public spaces was a prominent feature of these explorations, with water playing a main role in urban life and characterizing the site. Focused on the sensibility of life alongside water, these ideas will later flow through the proposal. Utilizing the already existing features of the site in order to achieve these goals became pivotal in the development of the master plan. Following the main canals, the plan proposes a network of transversals and parallel corridors to help guide development. With large protected areas that seek to keep urbanization of the floodplains, development is oriented towards the Calle 13 and the parallel corridors. An agroforestry area in the middle aims to articulate the eastern and western developments, while providing room for institutional presence in the area. The combination of more productive focused patches aims to give the community means to sustain themselves while also protecting the ecosystems of the savanna. In order to get a better understanding of the mobility systems of the proposed urban sectors, we took a closer look at the section adjacent to Calle 13. Identifying the different natures of the existing corridors and their relationship with the condition of the site was fundamental. The existing corridors reveal a variety of situations with lack of articulations and relations with the canals. Poor condition of the road and a lack of public spaces along the canals characterize the site. Setting the proposal on the site and contrasting the previous analysis with the master plan gave us the tools needed to reimagine the corridors of the savannah. The mobility system was then classified according to the traffic demands, which was determined by the different articulating roles the corridors had within the system. The section of the canals were modified in order to potentiate the presence of water and create better relationships between the existing features and the proposed developments. From pedestrian-friendly corridors to formal transport systems and cycle routes, the corridors offer different conditions to move across the developments in the savannah. Incorporating bioswales infrastructure was also taken into account in the overall landscape design of the corridors.
Special attention was taken into the spatial quality of the river as a corridor itself. An analysis of the situation revealed lack of connections and public spaces. An almost hostile relationship with the embankment obstructs every possible way of reinterpreting life alongside the river. The proposal sections aim for a more interactive relation with the embankment, modifying the outer section to create alternative corridors and spaces that bring life to the communities that have settled alongside it. Establishing connections across the river could also help dynamize change in both sides, creating new relations between nowadays segregated communities. Having understood the mobility systems, the next step was taking a look into the urban fabric. Focusing on the northeast section of the savannah, the analysis revealed a patch-like development, with a severe lack of articulations and coherence in the urban fabric. Nevertheless, the canals created an underlying structure which could help guide the proposal. Drawing the mobility system into the site and connecting pre-existing features helped to scale down the proposed urbanizations into urban islands, embracing the patch-like morphology inherent to the agricultural fabric. The foundational urban structure was established. Aiming to create a more interconnected and flexible urban fabric, a secondary mobility armature was defined, connecting the centralities of the patches. Utilizing the existing features allow for a parallel and more fragmented structure to balance out the main corridors. Following this structure, the urban development is proposed as a mixture of plots with services and self-constructed habitats which promotes social interaction. The green armature embraces the fragmented nature of the site and flows from one island into the another, articulating the different stages of development and making room for the future urban equipment. The consolidation of the industries towards the northern and western borders aim to give the settlers means of production without disrupting the new urban fabric. Transitional developments help to reduce the impact of these industries toward the more vulnerable self-constructed habitats. The rehabilitation of lots and the establishments of new public spaces and ecosystems helps to articulate the proposal and create links between north and south, while also providing water-sensitive urban design, enhancing the resistance of flooding of the more vulnerable communities. Preserving existing features such as the existing farmhouses and reinventing them is integral to the proposal. All of this aims for the positive gentrification of the site, with some transformative sectors allowing for private development that could inject energy into the economies of these new developments and enhance interaction between different social classes. Finally, we studied the profile of these developments, utilizing the existing self-constructed habitats as the reference scale. Articulating the different stages of developments with the corridors and canals allowed for a more diverse variety of urban conditions. Integrating productive and green spaces into the urban fabric aims to shift the paradigm of living to one that treasures open spaces. Assuming the urbanization and the transformation of the territory as a needed step to protect the savanna, the proposal approach aims for a progressive development, with low-scale interventions that can have a massive impact on the quality of life of the future inhabitants of Mosquera.